Alright, so welcome back. So in this particular session, we'll be trying to see still on our app. We have fetched all the details from these different websites, right? From German, French, and the rest, right? So what we want to do is that we want to add this particular data here. We want to add a search feature in which we can search for that particular term. So how do we do that? So I'll go back again to the app. This is the app we are working on, and then I will start writing some code. So I'll go back and into my miscellaneous, which is here, and I'll pick my Deutsch data here, right? So I'll copy this entire stuff. You can load it from JSON, but let's do the simple one. So I'll come down here, then inside my location here, right? Inside here, I'm going to load my data. So load data, right? And then we also need to have a place to store found items, right? So perfect. So let's see how to do that. So based on this data, which is, you can see it's a list of a map, right? And a map consists of a string, and then some data, right? So let's see how to do that. So it's going to be my final, then list. And since this is a list, right, we just go with a list of a map, as I said, and then this map, this map is going to be the data there. So it's a list, right? And it's a map, and then it also have a string. So string with dynamic, right? Perfect. So that is the basic understanding. And then I can just give it as a term. So let's give it terms. So terms data, and I'll paste in my list here, the one we prepared in the previous sessions. So you have gotten our list of data here, right? This is what you'll be searching for. Perfect. And then we also need to create another dictionary or another list for the found items. So I'll call it as the same thing here, then I'll call it as found. So it can be underscore found item, right? And then it's going to be a list. Perfect. So this is very important. Now let's create a search feature to be able to search it. So this is going to be inside my body. I'm going to create a column, and then inside this column we have a child, and then inside the child we have my test field, right? So we have a test field. So if I save this one, so we have a test field here in which we can type some stuff, right? So that's where we'll be using type stuff. We can modify this one with a decoration, and then inside this decoration we can specify an input decoration and then give it all of these features, right? So we can just come down here and specify the label test, which in our case you can say search term. We save it, and I go back here. You see we have, I don't know whether you can see it, but we have search term here, right? The same thing that we had here. And then we can add more customizations to it to make it look fanciful, right? So we can add all of these things to it. Can add some content pattern. So I can just come down here and add some content pattern to it. So it has some content pattern. I can also add a shadow and an icon to it. So let's go down here, then yeah, something like this. I think I'm making a mistake somewhere. So we have the here, right? I want to add a surface there, right? So if I go back here, I need to fix something. So we have the test decoration. Then inside the test decoration, we can specify what we want to put there, right? So I can just come down here. So I'm trying to look through to see what I need to put there. Perfect. And then this goes off. So then we have this bar around it, and you can see the icon because I specified an icon at the surface icon search. We have it here, and I can now type in something right here. Perfect. how do we get the thing that we are typing? We will now create another option to show it, right? So this is going to be our search area. Then outside of this column, still inside the child, I'll come down from here, then I'm going to create an expanded, which takes a child, and this is going to take in my list build viewer. So list, there is list view, I think it's list view dot builder, and this takes in the build item, right? So it's going to take in the length of the test, so item count, which is going to be the found items dot length, very important. Then now I can put in back here then from here I can put in my list. So it can be a card or it can be anything. So let's go back here and then let's go with my content, the contest, and then index. Then this one can be mapped to, it can be mapped to a card or something, right? So let's map it to a card. So that if we have some tests there, it's going to be showing those tests there. Then it will take in the key. The key is going to be my value key, which in our case is going to be the found item. Then I'll pass in the index, right? Can be many items there. Perfect. Then when I found it, I want to get the term, because that's what we're searching for. This term is coming from this term here, right? Perfect. So this is going to be the value key that we have. We can add color to it, we can do a lot of things to it, right? Perfect. Then let's create a function to do the search. So to simplify our work, I already have some functions that I created some time ago, and then we'll be using those things, right? And I'll explain. So here I'll create a simple function and I'll explain the function. So we have the search function that takes the list of dictionary, then whatever word that is being typed here, if the word is not empty, but if it finds the words, if it's not empty, it's going to return everything. So if the search field is empty, show all of them right here. But if we start typing something, I want to search for the term inside the term field and then return it. And then we need the set state, because without the set state you cannot see what is happening, right? Very important. So since we have a set state, we also need to initialize our data when we load the page using this particular option here, right? So now let's add the search function to our to the search field, because what we want to, once we start typing, we want to be able to show some stuff, right? So we do that by inside the decoration you can say on change. So if there is a change, then I can pass in the value that is being passed there. So there's a value, and then that value we are passing there, we want to pass that particular value to my search function. Now pass in the value here. If I save it now, if it's empty, it's supposed to show all of the data. So if I start typing something, if it finds it's supposed to show it, right? But then why is it not showing, right? Because actually we are not even showing anything yet. So what I will do is I will want to add an expander field here. So I will copy that to save us time. It's going to be my expander field. So the same thing that we have here, right? So here, copy this and paste it here, and then I'll modify it. So we have, this is called term, as we saw earlier on, and this is going to be the term. Then the next one is going to be the English term, right? So this can be, if I save it, hopefully we must see the data, and the last one is also going to be the English term. So this is referring to the term and then English, right? So let's refresh. If if I go back to my German page, so we have the term here. So we have abgeben and to submit, right? Upcoming to agree. This is okay, so you can easily see that we can even ignore this search function here, right? And we can also put maybe something there later on in the future, right? Or we can quickly do it like this. I can take off this subtitle. We don't need this. We have a child, so we have a term. So abgeben to submit, so the user can just click on whatever you want. So abgeben means to submit, becoming means to agree, and then because of that we can actually search. So if I go with roofing, you say we have roofing here, and then we can search it here, right? Perfect. We need to put this entire stuff we are doing into a nice format, right? We have to add some padding to the entire stuff, because yeah, it's okay, but it doesn't look that fanciful. So I can just pick the entire item here and put it inside the pattern. So let's put it inside the pattern. So now it's put together like this, right? And by just going with click on this, you specify what you want, right? We can also, so let me see if I change the theme, will this change? So let's change here, go back to here. Can I type something for you to see? Okay, you see that you cannot see the text that is being typed there, because when this is the dark theme. So we need to find a way of ensuring that whatever is typed there, like within our text field, is maintained, right? So I think that can be done with the text input type, text style. Yeah, we can do that here with this. So text, so I think it's style, then text style, then this is going to be color. Let's call it as always, let's make it black, right? So colors dot black. So now we can see it. So irrespective of the theme, I change it to the light theme and I come back to here, we can still see whatever is there, right? Which is good. Perfect. So that is how to do the search. Very simple, right? And now we can search. So now I can just use the same logic to repeat from it, but I also want to have the option of changing the theme right away from here. So we can do a pop-up menu to help us with that. So what I'll do is that I'll go back to create a custom pop-up here. So inside my pages, we have the themes. I'm going to, inside my library, I'll create a directory called utils, and I'm going to create a custom pop-up menu for the theme, themes button dot that, right? And inside here I'm just going to import this, and I'll explain what I'm doing. I'm going to be picking the theme from Glossa. You see that sometimes I'm pasting some stuff, right? Because I've already done it with some apps, so I'm just repeating these features. So I'm importing the themes that we had and the provider, and then I created a simple widget that's based on what is specified, right, for the pop-up menu. So we can get the dark theme and the light theme, and then once you select it, we switch with the provider, right, to the respective column. So that's going to have a drop down. So how do we use this? I'll come back here, and then I can, in front of my app bar, within my app bar, there is actions, right, and I'm going to paste in my pop-up menu button, right? If I go with this, there's the same thing. If I, this pop-up menu button is what I've customized here, this pop-up menu button. So actually this is the code, right? And then you have to specify what you do when you select. So this pop-up menu button is what we are using. So pop-up menu themes button, I'll call it as pop-up menu themes button. If I save it, we don't pass in anything there. Now you see I'm going to have it here. Now I can click on it. If I go with dark theme, it automatically changes. If I go with light theme, it automatically changes, right? So I don't need to go to the settings page. So this is a very useful feature we have done. But I was also thinking of, based on what we specified earlier on, to have a table like this, right? But now we have it like this. So we can actually also do the same thing, but anyhow you want it to be, it will be okay, right? So now, so to consider, yeah, this is okay. So we can repeat the same thing, what you have done for the other pages. So since we're repeating the same, I'll copy them. So I'll copy the search feature. Yeah, because I'll use the same thing for almost all of them. Copy this, and I'll go to the Russian. I'll paste it here because it will be the same. And then I will go back again, and then I'll define this. Right. So we can simplify it and create utils function and use them, but repetition makes it better, right? Because I'm learning also, right? And then we would want to change this one. So this is the Russian page, which we don't have. We have 3 French, right? So I'll go back again, and then let's do the French one, the French page. And I need to paste in the French data. Now do the same thing as I did here. I'll copy the search feature together with the init, and then together with this option here. So let's close it, and I'll come down to the French page. So we are initializing our found value. We have our search function to search for the term, and then whatever is going to be found is going to be placed inside this particular variable. Perfect. So since we have it now, we can now go back here and then specify some other stuff, right? So do the same thing that we are doing, right, over again. So to save us time, I will copy I'll copy the search feature that we used here, like the same thing we used here, and then we will use it, right? So it's almost the same, right? It seems that everything we'll be doing will be the same. So I'll copy this to the scaffold because it will be the same for the different parts of the application. So copy the entire scaffold here, and then I'll change this one from pop-up menu. So this will not be German, but this will be French. Now click on this to quick fix to import it, and then if I go back to the French, so we have it here, but there's no data there. So once I populate it with the data, which is the French data, copy this one, go to the French page, and I'll paste the data there. Now if I save it here, so we have the number, the verb, and then this. So this time it is called verb, not term. Maybe I'll change it later. Let's change it. Now we can do it here. We can change it from the French data. Yeah, let's change the verb. So copy this, replace all of this with term, right? So that is the same, and then we can just come back here and then use it. Yeah, and once we have done with that, since everything is there, if I go back and I refresh, go here, come back, we should have the term there. So we have my term, French, term, and then English, right? Because that is what we specified here. So there's French, term, English, right? Perfect. So let's see, search for avoir, right? Or to have. Amazingly, it's not showing any of the terms, right? That's quite interesting. Sometimes you have to refresh, or sometimes if not showing any of them, that means that you are missing something. Okay, yeah, perfect, it's back, right? So if I go back here and I search for the word, say have or to have, right? So I can switch it. So since I think better I switch it from term to, yeah, so the term is what you're searching for, not the English. So in case I search for something like yeah, pensée, right? See that we have it here, right? So it's working perfect. So in the next session, we'll try and repeat the same thing because we are almost done with our application. We have done the same with the search feature, right? So I also want to add a feature to have it in the format of a table there. So thank you for watching. See you in the next session. Stay blessed.